Money Radio, discussing the business of making and spending money.
Hello, you're welcome to today's edition of Money Radio, a program that brings to you the latest developments in business and economic cycles of Nigeria and business issues around the world. My name is Innocent Odu, and today we shall look at the transport sector with a special focus on the aviation sector. And of course, we are looking at the possibility of a new national career for Nigeria as assured to the nation by the Minister of Aviation, Hadi Sirika. Before we go into that topic proper, let's take some news tidbits. Now, the chairman and CEO of the Nigerians in the Diaspora Commission, Abike Dabiri Erewa, has said that the COVID-19 pandemic has wiped out 20% from 25 billion annual diaspora remittances to Nigeria. The NITCOM boss disclosed this to a news conference in Abuja on Thursday ahead of the 2021 Diaspora Day celebration scheduled for July 25th. She noted that the home remittances are over 83% of the national budget and 6.1% of the national gross domestic product. Dabiri Erewa added that various targeted measures are being implemented to address the deficit caused by the pandemic, stressing that the remittances serve as economic buffers and safety nets to families for school fees, feeding, hospital bills, and many other social support systems. According to her, 30% of the remittances are channeled to investments, including real estate, commercial businesses, and others. And the Lagos chapter of the National Union of Road Transport Workers has generated about 123.8 billion naira annually, which could service the annual budget of 3 states of Nasarawa, Niger, and Yobe State put together. A statistical report by the International Center for Investigative Reporting has said the data, which was released on Thursday, showed that the money that was realized levies on the passengers, vehicles, motorcycles, and tricycles. Other sources of income not included in the report were money levied on hawkers, articulated vehicles, and persons who visited certain markets to buy goods. The report recorded a total of 75,000 buses, 50,000 tricycles, and 35,000 motorcycles. Still in the news, a former Bayelsa State Governor, Siraki Dixon, has asked the President, Muhammadu Buhari, to withhold his assent to the petroleum industry bill passed by the National Assembly. Siraki said there was need for the review of the proposed legislation to accommodate a 5% allocation to the host communities. Dixon, who is also representing Bayelsa West Senatorial District in the National Assembly, stated this while addressing journalists in Abuja on Thursday. He lamented that the leadership of the Senate, led by Ahmed Lawal, frustrated efforts by the South-South senators to get the support of their colleagues from other regions to approve the 5% host communities' equity share. And the Benin Zonal Office of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, on Thursday secured the conviction of 2 fraudsters before Justice C.A. Obiozo of the Federal High Court sitting in Benin, Edo State. The defendants, Ovuakpore Lucky Ejiro and Oshorun Joseph, were arraigned on 1-count charge each for offenses bordering on impersonation and obtaining by false pretenses, contrary to Section 22, subsection B2B2 of the Cybercrime Prevention Act 2015, and punishable under Section 22(2)B and 4 of the same act. The defendants pleaded guilty to the charges when they were read to them. That's it for the news. We'll take a short break. When we return, we'll come back to discuss the issue of a new national carrier for Nigeria, known as the Nigeria Air.
Money Radio, discussing the business of making and spending money.
Yeah, welcome back. We're still discussing the issue of the possibility of a new national carrier for Nigeria that was, declared by the Minister of Aviation, Hadi Sirika, in May this year, giving Nigerians assurance that we will have a new national carrier that will take off in the first quarter of 2021, having assured Nigerians of the possibility and the arrangements being made to make that particular project come into effect. And Nigerians are beginning to question some of the modalities, are beginning to also question some of the strategies the government has put in place to realize these noble objectives. It should be recalled that this is not the first time that Nigerians are clamoring for a national carrier, and this is also not the first time that the government is also trying to put in place measures to realize these dreams. Unfortunately, in the past, some previous attempts that were made didn't yield that desired result, and so a new optimism is in town that the minister also wants to assure Nigerians that this will be possible this time, as he has said that by first quarter of 2022, a new national carrier to be called Nigeria Air will come into full stream. And so I am in the studio to discuss these very important issues and the possibilities, judging by also the procedures and the processes of establishing a national carrier of this magnitude. I'm being joined by an analyst who is also very vast in aviation matters, Ejike, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
Now, you have seen the optimism in town since May, when the Minister of Aviation, Hadi Sirika, assured Nigerians that a new national carrier will come on stream in the first quarter of 2022. Do you share in that optimism?
Yeah, I think there is no optimism, except for people who have not been in the aviation sector for a while. This is not the first time. I mean, this whole plan started in 2018. The minister shifted it. This is the fourth time he's giving us a date. The only thing is that we are just waiting to see what will happen in the first quarter, but I don't really think people are expecting anything new. I mean, there is no plan. We are not seeing anything, except he's going to do a magic. We are not seeing anything, just like he rushed into announcing the Nigeria logo for Nigeria Air and all those things in London in 2018. I don't think they do it like that. There are procedures that you need to do. There are plannings that should be on ground before you even make the announcement. Are you ready? Do you have the finances? Have you brought in the investors? Have you done a lot of groundwork before saying 2020? 2022 is about 6 months now.
Yes.
And you're talking about setting up something. Do you have the money on ground? Do you have the finances? Do you have the investors? And we're talking about Nigeria Air to be championed by PPP.
Yes.
Not government sponsored fully. So I don't believe that. But let's see what will happen.
Well, you don't sound optimistic about this at all, maybe because of the previous failures. And don't you think that the minister, coming now to tell us that yes, modalities have been put in place, and that everything is, they're supposed to be done, has actually been done. In other words, they probably have learned their lessons from the experience of going to the Farnborough, the last one they went to Farnborough Center in London to display what you say was more like pictures.
Rush, yes.
Instead of giving the investors some convincing, hope that something is on ground. But I think largely they have made up for that, those lapses, and they also are beginning to sound like they are more serious with this issue. Don't you think so?
Mr. Innocent, if you want to talk about being serious, it's not about going to Twitter, going to social media to announce that this will happen. You see, airlines, you need to talk about what are the plans. Yes. Are you going to go with Arike and change their planes, change the logo to Nigeria Air? Are you buying new airlines? They don't buy airlines from the shelf. You order for it, you wait for years for it to be manufactured and all those. Are you buying second-hand? What are the plans? We need to understand. Maybe the minister is working behind the scene, we don't know, but the minister needs to convince us. I covered the aviation ministry, and for the past 5 to 6 months, nothing has been happening there. Is it that the man is doing something and we are not seeing it? But I am a Nigerian. I believe in Nigeria. So I hope that by first quarter we'll have it in place. But from what I'm seeing on ground, I doubt if it's going to happen. I don't want to be hopeful and be disappointed at the end.
Now you can see that you made mention of PPP. The government said they are going to have a 10% stake in it, which means that the investors coming in are going to have a bigger share of the stakes in that particular project.
Yes.
And so when we're beginning to understand some of the intricacies behind some of these policy statements and decisions that are taken, we also want to at least give the government the benefit of the doubt to ensure that this very noble idea, let it take off first. We believe that sometimes when there might be some teething problems, but exactly when a project like this takes off, it would certainly take a life of its own if the right things are done. And we are drawing examples from countries like, we may say, Senegal, countries like Uganda and Ghana even, who are also trying to revive their own and have made this very, very significant improvement in the way they have done theirs. So if Ghana, Senegal, Uganda, and the other countries of Africa that are, of course, less in terms of, what would I say, in terms of size and might compared to Nigeria, why wouldn't we be optimistic that this time the modalities are in place? Would it sound more optimistic to us, the Nigerians, this time?
You see, Mr. Innocent, I think because of the size of Nigeria, we tend to believe that everything Nigeria is doing is automatic. We will achieve it because we have this market, we have the size. I don't believe that. I believe in work. The minister needs to show us what he's doing to achieve this. You can't just sit after a while or after people write something or attack you from the social media or something, and you just come out and you put one story. Well, don't worry, by first quarter you'll see this. This is not how things are done. In other sectors, in transport sector, for example, in railways, you see the minister, you see Rotimi Amechi, the Minister of Transportation, going. If he starts, when he was doing Lagos Ibadan rail track, he will be showing you the progress they are making from the grassroots to the completion. Now you're telling us something. We need to see evidence. We need to understand, okay, this is where you are done. This is the private, these are the people who are coming in. This is the amount they are bringing. This is what they want. This is what we have on ground now. This is what we want to achieve in the next 1 month. There has to be a plan. It doesn't need to be hidden. But what we are seeing now is like, maybe he's doing something and he's covering it. When the time comes, he will show Nigeria what he has done. I'm waiting. As I said before, I hope it is actualized, and I'm hoping and I'm waiting.
But there's something that is really disturbing about this issue of trying to re-establish Nigerian airline or Nigerian national carrier, as we will say. We used to have a very flourishing national carrier called the Nigerian Airways, which eventually came to an end. Its operations came to an end in 2003. And since then, there have been some efforts being made to re-establish Nigeria into that sector with a national carrier. What do you think we are not really getting right in this process and trying to make this thing work again? Not only from this minister, but the previous attempts that have been made to actually give Nigeria, because it's a symbol of national dignity. A national carrier of any nation is a symbol of that country's sovereignty, that they are in this business and they are doing it to dignify their country and not just for commercial purposes. So one would want to think, why do we always fail in this type of project when other countries, smaller countries, you can see Ethiopia, flourishing with Ethiopian airline, South Africa flourishing with South African airline, and the rest of them. Even Kenya at a point was also floating a very flourishing airline. I don't know about now, but at least it made significant impact in that sector. So why do we continue to have Nigeria, lag behind in such a very big project? Now that will be when we'll come back. We are going to take a short break. When we return, we will continue the discussion on the possibility of a new national carrier for Nigeria, as assured by the Honorable Minister of Aviation, Hadi Sirika.
Money Radio, discussing the business of making and spending money.
Welcome back. We're still talking about the possibility of a new national career for Nigeria, as assured to us by the Minister of Aviation, Hadi Sirika, and the efforts being made by the federal government to bring this dream to reality. I'm still in the studio with Ejike. Ejike, like I was saying before we went on our short break, the question of trying to revive Nigeria's national career after the death of the Nigerian Airways has been a subject of controversy, subject of some policy flip-flops. At the end of the day, we keep struggling to do what so many smaller countries, even in Africa, have achieved with very minimal effort. Why do you think that this kind of is it policy attitude of Nigeria towards it? Why do you think that we keep having this type of challenge?
Innocent, I think we need to understand that airlines are not run basically with a little mismanagement. If you have a flop, a simple mistake, it can kill the airline. Kill in quotes. What I'm trying to say is that Nigeria Airways died because of the mistakes the past administrations made. It was established, it was flourishing, it was moving, it was big. But immediately the people in power started using it as personal business. It started going down. You have a situation where the person's wife is traveling and the husband is the MD or one of the big guys there, and you go free. The girlfriend is traveling, the same thing, the children. That is what killed Nigeria Airways. Now, we have a situation in Nigeria where we need to bring that back. What do we need to do? We need to prepare. We need to understand that this is a business. And that is what this minister did. It started very well. He said, no, government is not going to fund it again. If not, it will become everybody's show. He said, now, private people come in. Let us do this thing. By the time you bring in public people money, what it means is that the money does not belong to the government. And it means people's money inside the business, the people are looking for profit. They are not there to play. They are not there to dash anybody. Nothing like girlfriend, nothing like wife, nothing like family business. So, which was a good move. But the problem is, what effort has the minister done apart from policies? You need to drive this. You need to sell it to people. You need to convince people to come in. There was a period, I think, earlier this year, where I was saying individuals are expected to bring $250,000 to invest and all these things. If I'm putting in such amount of money, what is the guarantee that government will not play with that? I need to be assured that my money is intact and nothing will happen to it. Another problem we have in this country is that even the government agencies are not helping. Look at Airpeace. Airpeace is doing so well. Airpeace is bringing in brand new planes. Actually, Airpeace cannot fly the plane. For the past 6 months, they brought in new planes that they cannot fly because customs say they must pay a certain amount of money, which is not supposed to be. And the president has signed against that. But up until today, the owner of Airpeace, Mr. Allen, was at the Senate and he was lamenting, begging them to talk to customs to waive that aside. President said, encourage private businesses in Nigeria. And he has done everything. He has signed, he has done everything. But we have an agency that is feeling too powerful to allow this thing to flourish.
You want to violate the president's own
directive. The man is on news. He's all over the places. The man was practically lamenting in National Assembly. That tell them, they say, okay, we waive your certain amount of money for the pass and all those things, but you must pay 7.5% VAT, which is against the policy that the president has signed. The president has done everything to encourage business, small business, big business, any business that will help Nigeria to grow. The president is interested in it. But what is the custom people doing? You need to watch these things. Now we are talking about PPP and bringing in Nigeria a new airline, and with the what is happening. How are people going to invest when the single person that is doing the business is lamenting? You need to put things in place. We have Ethiopian Airlines. Ethiopian Airlines is doing so well because in that place, a governor or a president or any minister cannot just walk in and say, okay, I want to fly, I won't pay. You pay for it. It's not your business. You are a government worker, you go, you pay your money. But in Nigeria, I think until we realize that we need to work like that, it's going to be a problem. Even if we establish it, it's going to be a problem managing it.
But do you also think that there could be some extra budgetary allocation for this project, and of course some legislation from the National Assembly to also streamline the process so that people won't have these doubts that the nation is now very serious about floating a very genuine
No, I
airline.
think Nigerians federal government investment in a new airline is not in doubt. They've invested a lot. In fact, the Jamboree show in London, I don't want to, because they refuse to say the actual amount that was spent, but we are hearing in the region of $8 million. Government is not doubting. They are putting in money. They are interested in establishing, but the people, the investors, are doubting because they don't believe. They want to see you start it before they kill it. They want to understand that if I put in my money is okay. My money, I will not hear one story that this thing did not fly or this thing flew and came down within 1 month. No, you have to put things, you have to assure them. You have to do more to assure them. Rather than having somebody that is sitting in the office and feeling that, okay, if I tweet that we'll fly by next year, people will come down. If we tweet it and way by first quarter, Nigeria will come up. And what are you doing? Are you deceiving us? You're not deceiving us. We have experts. We have people who know a lot there, and they are not laughing. They want serious business.
Okay, there's another issue we're actually looking at. You have been in the transport sector for quite a while now, and you've also seen what the Minister of Transport, Rotimi Amechi, is doing. Giving you details of what has been going on in that sector, and also trying to call on more investors. Building investors company in the project. Now, is there any possibility of replicating what the Amechi style of running this transport sector with what we already have, what we can draw as a lesson in this very important aviation sector to also make it functional?
I think Amechi's sector, I wouldn't call it Amechi sector. The transportation sector is doing well, basically because government is interested, and we have a minister who is also interested and who is putting in effort. As a matter of fact, let me give you an instance. Lagos to Ibadan was supposed to be for 3 years. Because of the minister we have, Rotimi Amechi, minister insisted that that project must be completed before 2 years, and it was actually completed. What did he do? He did not do any magic. Rather than he said, okay, every month I will go on inspection. I will see what you're doing every month for the next 2 years. And he did that. Every month. Sometimes he will come unannounced. Sometimes he will plan with them. They will come. And there is no way you come around and you tell him that you did not do anything this month. You must do something. So by the time you have that kind of zeal, I think we need that zeal in the aviation sector. The minister, Hadi Serika, is an experienced person. He's a captain. He flew airlines. I think he flew airlines for the police, and he's a minister of aviation now, so he has all the experience in it. But we are not seeing that zeal in him.
But the thing is that is it because probably because of they are a different sector? Yes, Amechi is also a transport sector, which is the road building railways and the other projects. And then, of course, the aviation sector is quite a different kettle of fish. And the complexities and the complex nature of that industry may have been the reason there's this drawback in a way that the government is trying to.
Mr. Innocent, I don't really think that we have Fashola in Minister of Works. If you go through, look at what they are doing from Abuja, from Zuba to Kano, the road. In fact, part of Kano have been completed already. It's not only about transport sector. It's all about having a minister who is interested and who wants to work, and not a minister who is sitting and tweeting. We need to see action. We need to see you in the field. We need to see you doing something. We need to see you moving around. We need to see. We need to hear. But we are not seeing. I still don't want to doubt him. Maybe he's doing something that we are not seeing. He's planning to surprise us. But we are seeing from other places. On the road, you see people walking. On the transport, you see people walking. Some other places. So we need to see such zeal. We need to see such evidence before we believe.
Okay, finally, before we round up the program, is it possible for the government to actually take charge of this project on its own, rather than waiting for investors that are not coming? so that the people can have confidence that if the government can run it, with their own funding. But unfortunately now, there are some deficits in the way we generate even funding in the country. So how are we going to tackle this? Just in 1 second.
Personally, as AGK, I would say government running full-time Nigeria Air is a bad idea. We need to convince the public to queue in, and when they queue in, I'm sure we'll have a better one.
Okay, thank you so much. We need to convince the investors to key into the project so that Nigeria will now have a new national carrier they call the Air Nigeria, which the Minister of Aviation, Hadi Sirika, had assured Nigerians sometime in May that by first quarter of 2021, this national airline will come on stream. We hope that the government will realize this dream so that Nigeria will once again begin to fly like other countries of the world. It's on that note that we draw the curtains on today's edition of Money Radio, and I've been joined by AGK. AGK, thank you once again for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
We'll say goodbye and have a wonderful day. We promise you a bumper edition of the next when we come back next time. Thank you.